You know, I never thought that I'd be doing something like this. Talking to a camera and telling my entire story to the internet. The kid back here in high school, when he started out, he never would have thought in his right mind that he'd be doing something like this. Never. So when I started high school, I still had that vision in my head that I had fallen for a girl, that I had an attraction to a girl. So I was counting on those feelings to keep on going. And in my head, I had became who I actually wanted to be. I didn't have any more feelings for guys. I had dismissed what had happened before that, and I had told myself over the summer that, okay, I'm gonna be okay, and we're gonna pursue that in the normal way that I'm supposed to, and that is to find a girlfriend and go from there. And I started slowly making friends, and things were going all right. And back then I had to make the decision, not to make a decision, I had to figure out whether I was straight or gay. In my head back then, if a person was straight, they had feelings, they could only have feelings for girls. And if a person was gay, they could only have feelings for guys. And the fact that I had recently had emotions for a girl, I must have been straight. It was as simple as that in my head. I was on my way to finally being normal. And that was, I was relieved in a sense that, okay, I'm ready to go for that and follow the trend that I was used to. But as I started hanging out with some of those friends, got to know them a little bit more personally, and to my surprise, not really, I started getting attracted to some of them. And in my head I was like, no, why is this happening again? I thought we had fixed this. Why am I starting to be attracted to them? And this was a whole new dimension, because back when I was having feelings or like crushes on specific guys, it would be from afar. I wouldn't really know them personally. It was like star liking them. Now it was a whole new different dimension, because now I knew them a little bit more personally. And that made the attraction even stronger, which was a lot harder to dismiss. And as I got to like them even more, I wanted to get closer and closer and closer. And there were some things inside of me that maybe was hoping that I could perhaps become their boyfriend, even though they were straight. So you almost got into like this fantasy world where I was dating him, but we were just like really close friends. I gave myself, there might be a little possibility that he might be feeling the same thing for me, because some guys are sexually comfortable in the sense that they're not afraid to put their arm around you or get close or whatever, right? And I did have some friends that were like that over, I'm not just talking about high school, but over all of the years, I had a lot of guys that were all right with that. But they were confident in knowing that they're not into guys, but they're into just, just being close to somebody. But when I was in high school, I did have some of my guy friends that were sort of like that, which gave me false hopes. So some of the guys, they would, I don't know, slap your ass or like pat you on the back in a really like friendly way, or just give you a hug, or did that mean anything? Because I was very, very careful in every single little thing that I did. I did not want to give away any ounce of what I had inside of me. So anything that was beyond what my structured personality was, is he in the same boat as me? Is he interested in me? Does he want to go further with that? I questioned everything. And I analyzed everything because I was so scared of just giving a little bit away. So that somewhat confused me as well, in what was okay to do and what was not okay to do. Because I felt if I did that, they would be like, ew, like, what are you doing? But it was okay for others to do it. I constantly thought, especially with the people that I was attracted to, the guys that I was attracted to, that there was a slight possibility that they were in the same boat as I was, so that we could somewhat like open up to each other. As to finding somebody to open up to, that was out of the question. I didn't trust anybody. There was no way. There was no way. That was impossible. I was constantly hoping that the people that I was attracted to would, I guess, come out and say, hey, I wonder if somebody would have said, hey, do you sometimes have feeling, like, did you find guys attractive? That was a no-no subject back then. You couldn't talk about that. Or maybe you could, and I was too scared to. But yeah, no. The difference between a crush and more of an emotional connection to that person, it's just, I guess it's, the bond is a lot stronger because you fall for the person. You want to be with that person all the time. You constantly want to be with them all the time. That's all you think about is them all the time. And that's what made it so hard, because you're wondering why he's not calling. You're wondering why, did you do something wrong to hurt him or whatever. And when you see him paying more attention to that girl that you used to have before, that's what makes it so difficult. And it's being alone. That's so difficult. Couldn't talk to anybody about anything. And those first experiences were going to be, it wasn't the first, it was the first but not the last, because that would repeat itself over and over and over again. And it's still happening. It's still happening today. It never stops. Until you find your confidence and yeah. But yeah, that's what was so difficult. Just holding on to that fantasy of being able to be with that specific person, and not being able to just freely love, because you have to cover everything up so much. Yeah. And it's something that I've repressed all my life, up to that point and beyond that point as well. Just to, as soon as you start feeling something, you have to put it aside and put it in a box and crush it. But yeah. Those guys that I did have feelings for, they didn't know. They had no idea. If they would have, maybe they would have been a little bit more, hey, you know, give me a little bit more attention in that sense and humoring me a little bit. Because when we know that someone has feelings for you, you try to be a little bit more sympathetic in that sense, you know? I mean, we don't always know who has a crush on who, but when you do know, you make a little bit of an effort to make it a little bit easier on them. But yeah, they didn't know, so anything that would differ from the normal, I would automatically feel like, oh crap, what did I do? Did I call them too much? Are they tired of me? But no, you have to talk yourself and coach yourself a little bit and saying, no, he's with this girl now, and you're gonna have to get over it fast. But it's not, it takes time. It takes a long time. When I did see all of that going on, the relationships building, it put down the fact that, okay, the closeness that I did feel back then wasn't real. And the possibility of them being like me is disappearing. And it's no longer possible. But one thing that I found that it sort of helped was I was trying to be as close to as possible to the girl. So she would like me, and then if the girlfriend liked me, I get to spend more time with him. Oh, being included in those plans was like pouring salt on the wound. That's all it was. But you get used to the pain, and then you learn to live with it, and then it slowly goes away. It's like when you're going into a hot tub. You know, it's really hot at the beginning, but once you get in, it's not that bad. It's the same thing. You just desensitize yourself. Simple as that. So when I realized that I was gay, I didn't say that in my head. I was even scared of just saying that in my head that I was gay, but I was. I had made the decision that I will never ever speak to anybody about this. And I will have to find myself something that I can hide in. Because in my head there was no way that I was telling anybody that I was gay. There was no way. So I felt like I was alone in the world for this, and that was going to be the part of my life that I was going to keep a secret until they dig a grave and put me in there. There was no way. I was not going to tell anybody, and there was nobody else that could help me, and I had to deal with this by myself.